Welcome to The Brutiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And not Ron, because he was supposed to be here, but he is getting hit on some heavy dad duties right now.
We avoided ice episode.
We did. This was supposed
to
be the episode where after Ron had, for his beer news, discussed the Gen Z fad of putting beer over ice. That was going to be this pod, and I was dreading the whole night. And while I missed my buddy Ron, when he said maybe we should push this a week, I won't lie. I get a good beer now tonight that I'm not about to ruin. So I'll miss you, Ron, but I'll wait one more week for the ice.
Yes, indeed. I'll have any beer that's not on ice, and I'll be just happy.
Amen. Actually, I'm excited. I have a new brewery that I have not tried around here yet. So
nice.
We are going to cover on tonight's episode Premier League being back from the international break, with the marquee match of the weekend being the Manchester Derby, which really only went one way, and that was definitely blue. And then we'll, of course, recap the other matches for match week 4 in our 2-minute drill. Then we'll blow off the halftime whistle and get almost immediately to the second half of the pod. As I mentioned, our super dad, Ron, is on dad duties. Instead, you will get the 7 shares of sadness and the red devil of the rudimentary all rendition of football, Ferris, as he'll update you on the first games of the UEFA Champions League, which his club is not in, by the way, as well as update you on some news from other leagues throughout the world as we go on to this edition of the La Liga's Roundup. Ooh, there we go. My audio didn't quite work. Oh, it's yeah, it was kind of honestly when Ron said he couldn't record tonight last minute because of what was going on with bedtime with his kid, I thought, well, Ferris just dodged a bullet, but you decided to do this pod with me anyway.
I did. And I even wrote in there, which his club is not a part of, by the way, and wrote that headline for myself. So, well,
whatever. I mean, before we get into that, I hope instead of a beer on ice, you have a high alcohol content beer to have a discussion.
I don't know. I actually don't. I just grabbed whatever's in the fridge. And you remember that Sweetwater pack that I had a while ago?
Oh, yeah, the variety pack?
Yeah, that was like buy one and get one. I'm still going through beers of that. So I needed something cold and not that was on ice. So I ended up grabbing the 420 Extra Chill Cold Pale Ale.
Ooh.
I don't know if I've had this one on the pod or not. I think I had other things from them, like primarily the IPA versions of it. But this is a part of their 420 series, if you will, and it is an extra extra chill cold pale ale, and you can head over to sweetwaterbrew.com and try to bring up some of the stats for you, because we had to pivot rather quickly with different beer selections. But it is 4.5% alcohol by volume. And that's about all I got right now, because I can't seem to find it on their site. But I had it before. It's good. It comes in like instead of that green 420 can, it comes in like a blue one, and it has extra chills instead of extra pale ale. So if you find any of those variety packs, Sweetwater, damn good brewery out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I'm stoked. I'm trying something new here, founded in 2011 that I was not familiar with. From Fawn Grove, PA, South County Brewing began its small 5-barrel system and quickly made a name for itself in Central PA with popular small batch craft beer. So I guess actually I used to live here up until 2011, so I kind of missed when this brewery came out. But they have a super sweet looking place. They've got I literally just sent my wife going, we have to go here. This like I don't know if you've ever seen like the Sierra Nevada setup out in Asheville, North Carolina. That's really cool. This would be like a smaller version of that. It looks like, but like an outdoor event space with their brewery and like food and all this stuff. They've got a scratch kitchen offering, and they also do distilling. But let's see, they opened their location in downtown Lancaster, formerly the site of the iconic press room in King Street. And the latest reimagined venue will bring the same dedication to quality, creativity, and local engagement to a broader audience. So these dudes, while other folks have been closing, have actually opened up another thing. This is pretty cool. The event space, what we call it, looks really awesome. I went to check out, like, they got tons of events. They got a South County Oktoberfest, which I would like to give a shout out real quick. The German society here, since I'm in Dutch country of Pennsylvania, so a lot of Germans, a lot of people that speak German. The Leidenkrantz German Oktoberfest is this weekend, and we're gonna go Friday to it. These little old ladies that don't barely speak anything but German make the best flippin' strudel you've ever had.
Oh,
and you
jealous.
Usually you have to go there as a member, but for Oktoberfest, they open up $10 a pop, raising money. You can go, and they're making like strudels and homemade sauerkraut. And they've got like, and of course, like, because it's like this nonprofit, you're like, liters of beer are like $10. It's so freaking amazing. So I cannot wait. So I'll give a full report on that, but I'm stoked for this South County Brewing. I'm sticking with a German style, even though this is an American, craft American brewery. It is their Helles, which I really dig.
Oh,
Helles lagers.
I haven't had one of those in forever.
Yeah, I'll send you the logo, or the can art. It's pretty cool. It's the 851 Helles. It's their 5% ABV beer, traditional Helles style lager, rich honey malt notes with a crisp finishing snap and a touch of bitterness to ground it. Prost, it says. But it's got this cool, like, it looks like Bambi's hanging out there in the forest. I don't know if you can see the picture that I sent you, but like, yeah. With the 851 Helles lager, which thankfully is not the beer on ice that we were about to have. For best drinking experience, pour into a glass. This is not one to be had in a can. Crack, crack, crack.
Okay.
So I got my handy daddy glass from Ferris, my Arsenal officially from the stadium there in London. Which, by the way,
out of the can, though.
Coolest gift ever. I still get excited every time I pull it out of the cabinet.
That's awesome.
Just so you know. And it's a Helles lager, right, that they sold there, right? Isn't it?
Yes. It was from, what the hell's the brewery?
Because I got the hat you gave me with the soccer ball on fire.
Starts with a C. Oh, God, what the heck is it?
Camden Road? Camden? No.
Yes, Camden.
That's going to be nuts.
It's not Camden Road. It's Camden something. Like Camden Brewery. Camden Brewery, yeah. Camden Town.
Camden Town. That's what Camden Town Brewery.
Camden Town Brewery. Yeah. Yep.
And it was the Helles. That was the one they sell at the stadium.
It's like, it's a weird thing, and I don't know if you think this way too, but sometimes some of those just like smaller gifts that you just tend to use all the time are some of the best gifts. Like, you don't need this big elaborate thing most of the time. It's just a small gift.
And
like
also
good glass, good koozie.
Legit,
those type of things are just so cool.
This is also such a good like lager glass. Like literally the way that it's shaped. So like, anytime. Let's try these beers here. Delightfully not on ice. So I hope the anticipation builds it and you enjoy next episode when we actually, as I told Ron, sacrilegious Oktoberfest will have started and we're going to do friggin' Gen Z beer on ice the next episode.
Ice and our beer. And 3 different kind of beers as well, so that's going to be even more interesting.
All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, man. Look at that. That looks like a commercial.
Oh, beautiful.
Crisp, golden. Yeah. There we go. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother. God, this is so easy.
Oh, well, that is a brewery that I'm definitely going to go to. I have the excuse my mom's coming in town to visit here in the middle of the week.
Nice.
I might use this as an excuse to go out and do something cool. You know what's hard when it's only the two of us and I try to get my beer full in the glass? Usually there's a third that I know can start talking while I do it. It's behind the scenes. It's harder. It's harder when it's just the two of us. And then, of course, I just updated my iPhone, so it's also the camera app looks different. I'm like, son of a, man, like, don't even know what I'm doing over here. It's a hot mess. How are things going with the Pride right now? Is it still 5-0?
They ended 5-0. They're in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So they played a team in Panama City. So they actually won one for a change. So they won the first 2 in their group. So they're doing I'm doing okay so far.
All right. Well, I wanted you to talk about something happy before we moved into the Premier League fair. So that was my gift to you, is the 5-0 Pride win right there. So without further ado, let's move over to the Premier League, where, as our good friend Tony Soundsgood said, this isn't even fun anymore because now it's just turned sad. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. Well, I like trying to read these the way Ferris wrote them. Well, the Manchester derby of this young season was pretty all one-way traffic in favor of the blue side of Manchester, as Phil Foden got on the end of Jeremy Doku's cross in the first half before Erling Haaland tore United's 3-4-2-1, or 5 guys in the back in a straight line. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't know.
Formation apart with a second half brace as Manchester City not only get back to winning ways, but keep more mounting pressure on the stubborn Ruben Amorim. We've seen it before from City, and, well, we've equally seen this from United as well. Thoughts? I feel like the real question is, like, for real, 2 more games Amorim's got? If he lost 2 more in a row, right?
I certainly hope not. I want us to hang on to a manager for at least a few years. However, he's the worst statistically starting manager ever, or at least out of the past 15 ones that they've had, at like a 26-point-something% win rate.
That's rough.
Get torn apart by your derby rival. I don't understand. You start your big number 9 for the first time this season against your derby rival when you could have started him in any of the 3 games prior, and he looked okay in part, especially in the first half, not so much in the second half. You brought in a brand new goalie. Man City started theirs, and he helped them big time in Donnarumma for City.
That was kind of an ironic setup for the day.
Yeah, and then Layman's who we bought. I get it. He's a young kid. He's not a Donnarumma type, but has made the most saves in the top 5 or the top 10 leagues in Europe last season, and comes in. Onana out the door. Bayindir, who couldn't find his ass from his elbow in goal half the time. And he gets a start. Now, in fairness, it wasn't so much him in this 3-0 game. There were moments that he had where it could have been him, but the 3 goals, I don't put any of those necessarily on him. But you can at least have some sort of confidence, right? You can build a little bit of confidence if you put the new big goaltender in net for you while their goaltender starts, right? That gives you a little bit of like, all right, it's going to be fun. Let's see what he got. Let's see what he got. And no, they didn't do that. I just don't get it. I don't get it from Amorim. And
I wasn't kidding about it. Have you seen that picture, that formation where like the guy, I forget which one it's the burn. I think it's Haaland coming through, but like it's just like 5 dudes in a line perpendicular, not parallel with the goal line.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
And the first 2 goals, Jeremy Doku, wonderful feet, wonderful moves to get in. A bit fortunate to get the ball back, but when he got it back, he just played it across, and Foden, who tends to always score against United, slotted at home. But Doku wove in between, essentially, that left-sided number 6 and in between the center back and the right center, or the left center back, for that back kind of 3 type formation. He just went right in between there. And then you had Luke Shaw trying to come over, and that's who actually blocked it at first. Ball went back to Doku, and the ball got played across. And then you look at Haaland's second goal, essentially split that same thing, where you would normally have a center back at least there, and he just overpowered, and the ball was slotted home to him, and he cut the gap, and boom. And then the last goal, you have playing just a high line that it's such a bad ball back from Ugarte to Maguire that he kind of fumbles it and then plays an equally bad pass, and you get caught in their half, and Haaland gets played the ball while he's still in his own half. Therefore, it's not offside, and he's off to the races and slots it home.
People were really upset about that, though, trying to say that it was offsides, but it wasn't.
No, it was not. You have to remember it's at the time the ball's played, but it looked so much like it was offside because you're like, this is comical.
Yeah,
this is absolutely comical.
People lost their minds.
United, and United, in fairness, first half had good spurts. Didn't look half bad. Even in spurts in the second half, when it was 2-0, Donnarumma made a tremendous save on an equally taken, awesome volley by Mbeumo. That kept him in the game. If that goes 2-1 at that time, that game gets a lot more nervy, and we could see what happened last year at the Etihad, where Dalu went down and made it 2-1, and they got all 3 points there at the Etihad. You could have seen something a little bit more nervy, but you know what? The big signing, the big goalie signing. Yes, I get it. Donnarumma, world class, has won Champions League, has won the Euros, has won pretty much everything there is to win. He comes in and it's a no-brainer start. But you see what the level of quality of goaltending and just starting him straight out. He hasn't spent that much time with the team, but he's a goaltender. Who gives a put his ass in goal and see what he can do? And you know what got me so mad? I'm at Schweiny's. We get, I play in our 9 a.m. game and we get rock showed like 8-2 or something.
At the Orlando local, this is the new German place right?
Yeah, it's a new German place, but we play in our Sunday league pub game, and we just got rocked. We got rocked. So, anyways, we're just there, and we're having beers and watching the derby, and I'm already not happy. Right? It's 3 now. About the 77th minute, I think it was the 77th. Whenever Jeremy Doku got subbed off, I'll get that for you here in just a second. He got subbed off, in the 77th. On his way off, I see a clip of him on his way off, and he's giving a high five to a United player, or a United player sticks out their hand and gives a high five. You gotta be kidding me! It's a god derby match. Yeah. Tell him to get his ass off the pitch, and let's try to do something with it. But no, let's give a high good game. That. It's not a Sunday league game. This is a derby match, and you're getting your asses walloped 3-0, getting embarrassed. And your crosstown rival, and you're giving the guy that just lit you up for 77 minutes of a game a high five as he jogs off the pitch. That. I left in just a fury, because that shows you the type of just bullshit that these players are playing with. I don't know who gave him the high five. I didn't go back and watch. I don't want to go back and watch, but get your ass off.
He's just trying to. Look, man, he's just trying to find his next job. He's like, put in a good word for me with Pep. I want out.
But screw that, man. Absolutely ridiculous. That just tells it all. And Amron comes out, and, I'm sticking with the formation. I'm this, that, and the other. But it's clearly not working. Your win percentage is showing that. It is not working. At some point, something's going to have to give. And I don't want him to leave. I don't want him to get sacked. I don't want us to go through another manager again after we just spent a boatload to get him players that supposedly are going to fit his formation and his system in the offseason.
Are you about to have an interim in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
No, I think I sent it. I think I sent it in a text to you all that day, and I'll read the exact text because I was livid. But I said, you know what? Fire Amron, bring in Gareth Southgate. He'll at least tidy up the defense, play a solid formation, and win 1 or 2-0. Even if it's just for this season. Hell, it's even like being an international coach. We have one game every once in a while with no Europe or no Chupacabra Cup now. And the job is almost, the job and the shirt, right? The job and the shirt for the players is almost too big for them. And I say Southgate because, one, he's been off of work for a while, but he took on a huge job with the weight of a nation on him in England and did pretty darn good, and is probably one of the best England managers that they've ever had. So, in my eyes, he could take on the weight of the shirt, or the weight of the bench, if you will, to take on that team. And even if it's just for that interim type where he's in for just the year or just the season. I don't want that to happen. I want Amarin to stay. But at some point, if he's going to be stubborn and keep the formation that he wants to play, and this is 3-4-3 right? Or this 3-4-2-1, so something's going to have to give.
Like, pundits are kind of like, I like Amarin. I'd like to see him try something. I'd like to see him have a bit of trust the process and see what he does. However, I think if you were still losing and he would catch stick for not sticking with something, probably because everybody's going to complain about something. But if he was really trying to shift things around and just trying to figure something out, but you were still losing, it's so much worse losing and it looks like he's not trying to do anything.
Well, it's not, you could tell he's trying, and you see him on the sideline, and he looks frustrated, he looks miserable. But are the players adapting to his system? Are the players wanting to play this? I'm not so sure. And he's a really smooth talker in the press, right? He's a better interview and comes out with better lines, if you will, than a Ten Hag who kind of was choppy in a press conference, right? Tried to explain the tactics, tried to defend his way of playing, tried to do this, tried to do that, but was choppy in it. Amarin's just a much smoother talker while trying to defend and, change the style of how this team's going to play. And yes, there was no Cunha in this, there was no Mount in this, but you had enough quality out there to not just get wiped off the pitch. And their chances, right? Prior to this match, United had created the most chances in the Premier League this point in the season out of 4 games, but have 4 goals to show from it. They can't finish. It's as soon as the formation is picked apart, they find holes in between any of the center backs back there because their chops are just too large. Or I'm sorry, not their chops, but their splits are too large. And you have Dorku, who is your best attacking player and touched the ball the most in the opponent's Man City's box on the weekend. He is a left wing back. He touched the ball in the opponent's box the most out of any Man United player in that game. More than Bruno, more than Brian Obuemo, more than Sesko, more than you name it. That's sad. When you're left back in this kind of 3-4-2-1, which is to me is more like a back 5 type, touches the ball the most in the opponent's box. There's something wrong with the way that you are attacking and the way that formation and the style of play there is panning out.
I feel like there's only 2 more matches, tops. I don't know who you play off the top of my head.
Chelsea on Saturday in the 12:30 match.
Chelsea's got a leaky defense, but they got a lot of goal scorers. So
let's see here. All right,
Sunderland.
Upcoming matches. It's going to be Chelsea at Old Trafford, and then away to Brentford, and then they have Sunderland, and then October 19th at Anfield.
I think you lose to Brentford. I mean, Chelsea, you might expect to lose to. That'll probably be like a 4-2 game kind of a thing because like Chelsea's leaky, but they got a lot of goal scorers. But I could see him gone with a Brentford loss, certainly a Sunderland. But
what I would say is not necessarily the next 2 matches. I would look at the next international break, and by that rationale, that would be the next 3 matches.
So that you'd have
Chelsea, Sunderland,
and then Sunderland,
and then there's the October break between essentially October 6th through the 17th or thereabouts.
You sure you wouldn't take an interim of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I didn't. I was looking. Him up because
I absolutely would.
I didn't realize that he has the second best percentage since or in the post Ferguson era.
Oh yeah, he has.
Isn't that wild to look back and think and like all the shuffling that happened after and everything, and he walks away with like the best record.
You have to remember he was playing well. It was a turbulent type few seasons there because there was a pandemic which shut everything down. You had your front 3 of Rashford, Martial, and Mason Greenwood prior to all of that stuff. You had Maguire fighting the whoever in Greece. You had who was it?
But you'd have stuff though, like Europa League final.
You had Ronaldo.
You guys, I mean, you lost to Villarreal on penalties, but like there was a lot going on.
We placed in the top 4. We placed second. Yeah, no, and they were high flying. Now no Rashford, no Greenwood, obviously, and no Martial. It's completely changed in the past 4 years.
So it's weird, right? Because Chelsea is on this upswing. And it looked insane at first, like there was no plan and all these players they're buying, and still got to see how that all shakes out. But like, and yes, on one hand, Ron's not here. So of course we're doing this. On one hand, it looked like good business because they sold more than they spent. But if you look at the money of what they made for the people they sold, they spent more for them in the past few years than they sold them for. So like in the larger picture, it's still a little... But like, what is, I mean, you feel like Man United's going to have to go through something like this sort of Chelsea shuffle that happened where it's very different. And they really swing for something. I don't know. I mean, we always say that with any manager, right? Well, who are you going to bring in? Right. I mean, it's always the answer. Something needs to change, except they've already changed managers. But maybe it's your managers and a bunch of players got to go.
We've already a bunch of players have already gone.
Well, that's true too. I mean,
which I'm not mad about, by any stretch. But we didn't get a midfielder in this window. I think that's a big loss.
You play Burnley next, right? That's actually who you play. Not Brentford.
No. We played Chelsea next. We played Burnley just before the break, and that was that like crazy.
Sorry, right.
3-2 win where we were up. We were up, and then they came back, and then we got a late pen, and so on and so forth. But I don't know. I'm past kind of pure anger and frustration and sadness and disappointment, and I'm past all that. I'm almost glad that there's not a game, but every 6 or 7 days, I don't have to think about it throughout the entire week, and I can just watch other things and not pay attention to this sorry excuse for team right now.
They are in a weird position though. Like I know you're saying like the international break, but because of some of the managers who are out there right now, your Ole, your Mourinho. Not that I think Mourinho are back. Nuno. I mean West Ham. They could go after Nuno immediately, but like. Is Nuno the kind of guy that like, that's very different. That's very like, I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, because if they wait, they're just going to have to, it is definitely, I think, an interim kind of thing. I don't know, but it's scary because
it's a tough spot.
You can't, so already didn't they just announce they're about to do a financial report and it's not good because of missing out on all this?
Oh, 100% it's not going to be
good. And it's soon, right? Is it this week, the 17th? Is that right? Is it tomorrow,
like
I think?
Yeah, something like that.
So not, I don't know, man, ending in 15th, or if you're on that board, are you like, screw it, we need to do something right now because we need to not be in that kind of position by the end of the season.
I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, this time last year, they sacked Ten Hag going into the November international break.
Yeah.
Because when they came back, I was in Kansas City, watched Amarin's first game with Kansas City Reds. In almost a similar way, right? Kind of stayed in and he actually won the FA Cup the year prior to that. They gave him and dumped a bunch of cash into that summer window, and then
it's true.
He didn't do anything, but he was so stubborn to his style of play and how he was going to play that with Amarin, it's not just that he's stubborn in the style of play, but like you're playing weird selections. You're not playing your big number 9 that came in for 70-some million.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Number 1 goalie on those first games. I don't know. Like, who gives a f*** if they're up to pace? You have one game every 7 days right now. If a 23-year-old can't play one game in 7 days, then shame on him and shame on you guys. For
but I'm just confused because like that was the big like, oh man, the Arsenal was going for Sesko. They didn't get Sesko. They quote unquote settled for Gyökeres, and then Sesko went to Man United. And it just
over Newcastle,
not playing right. You got to feel like if he was at Newcastle, he'd be doing well at Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that here in a bit. But like the first game he started him's away in a derby. He's played. I think he started against. He started in the Cup game against Grimsby, and then he's come off the bench in each of the last 2 Premier League games.
And that was a signature signing.
And you only started him because Mount was out. Because Mount's been your kind of auxiliary false 9 for the opening season. And in fairness, he's done well, but it's Mount. The dude gets hurt if he walks down the street and takes a cough or a sneeze.
How is Holland doing right now? Isn't he on loan?
He's Golden Boot.
Yeah, he's going to be Golden Boot.
He's Golden Boot. I think he has 5 goals in the year. You got 2 in this one.
He's in
good goals.
Where
too.
the hell's he at? Napoli, right?
Oh no, sorry. I thought about Erling Haaland.
No,
Golden Boot for the Premier League.
Højlund,
Napoli scored a goal in his first 14 minutes on the pitch for Napoli.
I mean, I know it's not the Premier League, but still, like.
Yeah, but you looked at what Rashford did going away from United. You looked at what Anthony did for Real Betis. He almost won them the Europa Conference League last year. At some point, like something has to give, and I get it. It's not the Premier League. It's a different level of competition. But there's something about the environment, something about the team that is just not instilling confidence, and just the weight of the shirt is too much for everybody except for Bruno Fernandes and
there's a quote
maybe
here.
Maguire.
There's a quote here though. We were talking about Sesko, but on Yahoo Sport, talking about Benjamin Sesko, Slovenian has been a simple tactical instruction, or given a simple tactical instruction by his manager, get into the middle of the opposition area at every opportunity. But when he got there on Sunday, time after time, he could only watch as his colleagues routinely failed to get their cross beyond the first defender. And it's true, or sent it miles over his head. And it's like, oh, man. And that's what they're saying. Like, he looks as effective as Rasmus Højlund. How do you say his? Højlund. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, my friend, I feel like you've got more rough before the turnaround happens. And I'm not sure what that.
I don't see anything else at this point. I will gladly accept anything else, but I don't foresee that.
I don't really know what the turnaround is. I mean, or what that's going to have to take.
Listen, if we can win. Speaking of that, have you seen the guy that his hair is just massive now because he's refusing to cut his hair?
3 games in a row or 5?
5. The dude's going to wait for the next 10 years for us to win 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
He's going to like a caveman. Oh, my God. Well, God, should we move on to our 2-minute drill?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man.
I've gone on long enough on this. I apologize to everybody.
Don't you even worry about it. Let's move on to our 2-minute drill. So, the rest of the Action Premier League. Well, then, after the turn of the international break, our weekend kicked off with the Arsenal hosting Nottingham Forest with the new Ange Postecoglou once again back at the Emirates, and it was all Arsenal as the new boys of Zubiminde with a brace, and Victor Gyökeres got on the score sheets 3-0 to Arsenal. Pretty routine, but how do you think the big Ange and Forest new relationship will pan out? I will be honest, because I have the PTSD of being an Arsenal fan. I was slightly worried about this match with some kind of weird one. Forest was good last year. That was not someone that you wanted to see on your schedule, right? And I thought, is there going to be a weird bump with Ange? And there was not.
If you were playing at Forest, Arsenal at home are pretty much a sure thing.
I mean,
it's
true.
This was more of a routine
but
win
still,
for them. I think. I think that move for Ange came in so late that your first away game going against, a top 2 team in the league.
But, sometimes like managers
it's away from home,
they come in like that and so they don't mess much. They kind of let the guys do their thing and they'll have this weird bump because really they actually don't do much. They just kind of.
Yeah, but usually those type of bumps are their first games are at home.
Well, that's true too.
Like a majority of the time, owners and clubs try to plan that out to where that first game is at home, so you get a little bit of momentum and the crowd behind you and that new vibe to what kind of helps the bump, if you will.
I mean, I think the story is just going to be, and I mean, we'll talk about it too when we get to Champions League, but at least our Arsenal, I mean, this might be the best signing summer they've had in a long time as far as overall, like some good signings along the way, but like just here is what you are missing. Zubamende, holy crap, man. What a good signing that's been for them.
Yeah, looks good.
I mean, all the talk about Gyökeres, he seems to fit well. I mean, he's not a finesse guy like a lot of the other people, but he's all smash into the middle and if the finesse guy get in my way, I got you. So I mean, so far looks pretty good. Madueke and Zubamende might be my two favorite people right now.
They look good.
They do.
And Eze with a assist on the day as well. So his first.
Yeah, his first getting on the
Odegaard, got injured, so he might be out for a while. But with Zubamendi in there, he certainly picked up that slack quickly.
Right. It's a weird world for me to be in as an Arsenal fan, where even today's Champions League is can't break a thing. Let's do some substitutions, and the substitutions are Martinelli and friggin' Trossard, and they do great. So actually having depth is not something I'm used to. I'm used to Odegaard's out, Saka's out, the season's over, it's match week 3. So like it's over. And so now at least it feels like, hey, we still got a lot of season left to go. So let's see what happens here. We play Man City next. I think that'll be telling. I was actually two things. One, I don't think I was so excited to move on to the Premier League. I don't think I mentioned this Hellas beer, by the way, from South County Brewing. It's friggin' awesome. Two, we didn't talk about Man City at all. Was Man City looking good? Was Man United looking woeful?
Both. I think Man City looked good. I think they also look like a different team with Rodri in the mix who got the start.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I think they look like a much different team Arsenal, when he's going. And it could have been 5-0. Terry Runders missed a heck of a chance that would have made it 3-0 at the time. But yeah, I think that they looked good. I think they're still trying to find how a lot of those pieces fit. Arsenal's going to be obviously a much stronger test for them. Is that match at the Emirates or the Etihad?
Let's see. Next one is it is City, but where is it at? I think it is at the Arsenal, but I could be wrong about that.
Yes, you are correct. It's at
that Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a huge.
But bump. There's been Mosquera, the defender. He looks the only people who look better than him are Saliba, and he's another good one to come in. So I'm never excited to play Man City. I hate we don't have Saliba in the mix, but I don't know. I feel excited for a fun match as opposed to oh God, we're missing these people. So they're very different place to be in. I'll take it for right now.
Bournemouth get their third win of the season and move up to fourth with a 2-1 win over South Coast rivals Brighton. With Newcastle up next for the Cherries, which should be a darn good match. Can you see them making it 4 wins on the bounce? And I believe Bournemouth are currently fourth in the table. So can they get 4 wins on that as well? Did
any of us give them as a lustrous prediction for doing Europe? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not this season anyways.
They look good though. Bournemouth looks solid, which is odd, right? In the sense of we just had last year with Nottingham, holy cow. They were up there in the top 4 to 6 early on. Look at that. And then going, oh my God, they've stayed. And then end up going to Europe. And it's funny to have Bournemouth coming right on and they just look a very solid, balanced group right now.
They do.
I don't know, obviously how long they'll stay in this position. But Brighton, not a pushover, but Bournemouth just playing smart and consistent. See how they've played anybody in top 6 yet?
Oh, they played Liverpool the first game. Remember that? And it was away. And they lost. They tied it up 2-2 and stuff. But.
And but they tied up 2-2 and they ended up losing to Liverpool. That's super commendable from the folks out on the beach sides of Bournemouth. Yeah, man, it's fun to see the Cherries play this go round. They look good. Crystal Palace and Sunderland played out a 0-0 draw at Selhurst Park. Not a lot to talk about here, other than each of these sides picked up early season points. Yup.
Pretty much. I mean, I think both are the 0-0 just shows how like equally matched they are. Sunderland probably the best of the bunch that have come up this season.
Yeah, that's I think surprising all of us.
Yep.
They look
still just sturdy. Dependable.
Well, and Palace losing big players like it's impressive to see them how they are. I do think Sunderland I read wrong, and I think maybe they really came out to not be in the top 10 by the time of the end of the season, but they're like, we're not getting relegated. We're here to stay. Mm-hmm. And it certainly feels that way. So when the dust settles, my prediction by the end of the season is we have a quite a good look at how good they were. It basically putting together a whole new team to stay alive in the Premier League. Well, I guess that was a very short 2-minute drill.
There's some that are going to be like that. And we have another 0-0 draw. Everton had the lion's share of the chances, though, but Emi Martinez back in net for Villa, and they were able to get out of Hill Dickerson Stadium with a much-needed point. Kind of what a weird situation for Martinez, but so far a wonderful situation for former Villa man Jack Grealish, who just won August Premier League Player of the Month.
I love how Holland keeps doing interviews going, I miss him, but I love what he's doing. Like, clearly they really, honest to God, were like good buddies.
He's tearing it up too. He's been just tearing it up. And the Martinez situation, he was tremendous in this game and probably Villa's player of the match. And Villa have not looked good this season so far at all. I don't even believe they have a win. I believe they're bottom of the table. They're second bottom of the table.
Sitting out right now, yeah.
Yeah, they're second bottom of the table because they have a draw at least. But they have 2 draws. But it was a weird situation. All reports were that Martinez had a conversation with Amron in the offseason and was fully expecting for him to be a Manchester United player this year. And on deadline day was at Villa's training ground, apparently, and kind of just waiting out for a call and a plane ride or a helicopter ride or a drive up the interstate there and be putting on the red kit, and that didn't happen. He kind of had to go back, to the Villa squad with his tail between his legs, and I think a game like that and the saves that he made like that will ingratiate him back to the rest of the team, the players that he plays with, and the fans.
Villa
quite easy.
Is Villa still the only Premier League team that hasn't scored a goal yet?
That might be it.
It looks
yep.
They
correct. Yeah, you are correct.
They scored in the EFL Cup, but lost in penalties to Brentford. Yeah, they have not scored a goal. Woof. Oh man,
not good.
No. They play Sunderland next, and that now looks like easy points for Sunderland.
Could be.
That actually be a good match. It should be a good test for Sunderland. All right, where does that put us at? Oh, finally not a draw. Fulham leave it late, but get a much-needed win, and this was something else, actually. And they earn all 3 points at home versus returning Leeds to League and Craven Cottage with new signing King and Kevin for this season on the attacking front for Fulham. Do you think they got enough to go to Europe? All I know is the Leeds manager about exploded into a dust bowl, like right when that goal happened. Like,
very late goal and ended up being an own goal.
Yeah, should not have happened. I wasn't too worried about Fulham sticking around. I don't know how good they're going to end up being this season.
I don't know if they're going to get in Europe. I think the lack of kind of signings throughout the summer, and I know that Marcos Silva, their head coach, was very public in saying that they just didn't do enough in the summer to bring in new players besides essentially those two. But they're still a solid team, and playing on the fronts that they are, they're probably going to be in or around 10, if not top 10, which would be a very good season for them.
No, I agree. I mean, that would be an excellent season for Fulham. I just I don't think it's quite enough, and I think that they are also in a season where you've got some pretty rough clubs at the bottom that I mean, we haven't gotten to them. Well, we've talked about Villa. I'm going to be real shocked if this bottom three, I could see this living here the rest of the season.
It might do.
As it goes right now.
With his head, new striker Nick Waldermaid made a big impression in the 29th minute on his debut in front of the Toon Army, as his lone goal was enough for Newcastle to earn all 3 points over Wolverhampton. What an impression by the big 6'6" young German, eh?
That dude's a beast, man.
Dude's monster, man. And a good header. Very good ball in. I'm forgetting who played the ball. Was it Jacob Murphy that played the ball in? Yeah, it was. Very good ball in, and Waterman just got on the end of it and just headed it home. And you just saw like the black and white just absolutely explode. And it's like, yes, we finally have another big number 9. And they didn't forget about Isaac quite yet, but it was a good start and a good way to forgetting about Alexander Isaac.
I would just like to see him and Holland have have a wrestling match. That's what I want to see. Like, maybe
we'll see it. And then when they play off of like a corner or something where they have to defend each other.
Yeah, I feel like that. Obviously, that's a good signing for
expensive one.
Losing Isaac, but then of course they lost Isaac for a ton of money.
Yes.
It's funny, this whole Isaac thing could, like, if they're smart about it, I don't know, a season or two goes by and they're squashing like Liverpool and stuff. If they did this right and it ends up being
we'll see,
a big turning point. That's a ton of that's some life changing money for Mr. Isaac. But nice to see Newcastle getting back in things. Wolverhampton, dude, where are we at right now? Are we at
they're woeful. I mean, they didn't play terrible in this match.
No.
They had some good opportunities, some good chances, and they had some spurts, but just not enough. Not enough. They're going to have trouble scoring, and obviously teams that don't score usually don't stay up.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. They're not putting any goals up, and and no defense like at all. So, again, this current bottom three kind of looks like it wouldn't shock me if it lives there for the rest of the season.
Which is West Ham, Villa, and Wolves.
Yeah.
Speaking of West Ham.
Already slicing and dicing West Ham and 1-0 up. Tottenham add 2 more to the tally after Thomas Souček was sent off in the 54th minute. Sitting third in the table in some big signings on deadline day like Xavi Simons, who started and added an assist in this one. How good are Tottenham going to be this season under Thomas Frank? They look like they're having fun.
They are, and they look good. It's going to be their consistency, right? They start Champions League here either tomorrow or on Thursday. And will that attrition to the team play through? Mateus Tell in this, I believe, got injured and went off a little bit early. But on deadline day, they brought in that Xavi Simons, who got a start and kind of that de facto number 10 for them, especially with James Maddison being out for a bit. And they also brought in, I don't know if we said this on the last pod, but they brought in, with Dominic Solanke out until late September, they brought in Randall Koulibaly, striker and right wing France, and was on PSG last, I believe, a World Cup winner with France. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts the next game there for him as their kind of new de facto number 9 until Solanke gets back. But even then, Solanke was starting on the bench a lot, so I'm not quite sure.
And they're playing Brighton Hove and Albion next, so that should be a win for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, following injury, Cole Palmer gets back on the score sheet as a second half sub to tie it up 1-1 against Brentford. The new boy, Alejandro Garnacho, in blue, helps to create the second, but then turns off defensively for Brentford's second equalizer, and 2-2 it ends at the G-Tech. Points lost, points gained. What did we make of this new-look Chelsea squad?
I think that Garnacho stuff is going to be the kind of crap that keeps happening.
In terms of what?
Well, like the whole helps get the goal and then totally goes to sleep. And
hey, we saw that a lot from Man United.
I know. That signing doesn't sit well with me. For them. I saw what's that one like Gary Neville and those guys do where they get a bunch of fans and they ask questions.
Oh, they do the fan vote with
and they're like in
the overlap, and then they do like this fan kind of forum type.
Yeah, but they got them in the room, and the guy with the Chelsea guy was just like, he goes, it's the attitude. He was like, I'm not saying there's not talent. He goes, but I'm so concerned of what that person does behind the scenes that I have a hard time feeling positive about this. And
I think that's why United partnered with him for what they did. He in modern game where wingers, a Madueke, a Gittins, all these players are going for 50, 60 mil on the right and left wing. He only went for 40.
Oh, Madueke. I said his name weird. And when I talked about Arsene Manduke, Madueke is what I meant.
There's some add-ons and stuff there, but with a plethora of wingers at Chelsea, where does he fit in? When does the attitude come in? When does the attitude not come in? And you saw it here, just in one match, kind of what he can bring and
what he can bring,
kind of live and die by him, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like he sets up and doesn't get the assist for that second goal, but basically sets that second goal up, and then he turns around and just falls asleep on the back post, and it's tied up. So it's going to be interesting. I think Chelsea's weak spots are goalie, and you could say their back line in a way that Chilwell, right? Chilwell or Caldwell. Caldwell injury was a big injury for them. I think he was kind of their big number one center back, but they got talent all up and down. They have a plethora of players that they can bring in. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to fight and get into the top four. We're going to see how they go back and forth with playing in the Champions League this year, which I think they kick off tomorrow or Thursday as well. So, but they have just such a deep squad that I think they're going to be okay.
Late goal though, right? I mean, like that that 93rd minute goal from Brentford. Mm-hmm. Chelsea just looking a little porous in the back. So, that being said, this is one of those clubs has just a couple of right signings on that back line, and it's all she wrote because they got a lot of folks that can score. And finally, does Liverpool even know how they got away with a 1-0 win over Burnley at Turf Moor? Oh, God, this was so annoying. Because this is not the scoreline that everyone would have thought, as it ended with a 95th minute penalty converted by Mo Salah, which gave champions all 3 points. How on earth did Kirk has not receive a second yellow this match? Man, this is one of those.
And Slot was quick to pull him off the minute that second foul. I don't know how that's not a yellow. And that would have been his second. He would have been sent off. Instead, a Burnley player gets sent off like towards the end of the game there, and then
but if you look
was
at
a penalty. It was a properly awarded pen.
Yes, but if you look at these stats, Liverpool should have been like up 5-0. It's insane. Now again, we always talk about if you don't have your best game out, but you somehow manage to win. This is the sort of. But I think F Gary Neville, because God, I hate that man. He plays a game again, or we played a not great game against Man United, but we managed to win. And he's like, see, I don't think they got what it takes to stick around. And then Liverpool does this, and he's like, see, that's what champions do. Even when you're not playing well, you win in the end. And I'm like, screw you, Gary Neville.
Yeah, but Liverpool got lucky here.
Oh,
Kirk
man,
should have been
lucky.
sent off. I don't know how that's missed. I don't. And I get it. You're not going to go to VAR to try to go to a straight red. It wasn't a straight red card offense, but absolutely a yellow card offense. Alexander Isak, their big signing, was not, I believe, even on the bench for this one.
I think
I'm mistaken with that. Was he in the squad? I don't think he was.
Nope, he was not.
He was. Yeah, he wasn't even in the squad there. But it'd just be a matter of time before you see him in there, and it'd be interesting to see who kind of rides the pine when he goes in. Is it Inteke? Is it going to be Gakpo? Probably not going to be Salah, but it'd be interesting to see how they set up. But that'll be coming soon from them. Absolutely.
You think Liverpool will they keep doing these late minute winners? Will they hang on to them, or will they start to have some issues?
Will they hang on to what?
Like hang on to this ability to pull these games out at the end, or are they going to start regretting this?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they just have too strong of a squad.
Yeah.
Unless some key injuries happen, I think they just have too strong of a squad that they're just never out of it. And that is the mark of what a Man United used to be, what a Man City then was, and that they retooled so much, they just have such a deep squad. So we'll see.
And with that, our 2-minute warning or 2-minute drill is up, and now halftime brings us to the La Liga's roundup. That's all our sound cues, back to back to back. All right, Ferris, take it away.
Well, first, I'm done with my sweet water, and I'm going to crack, in anticipation of next week, I'm going to have a proper Pacifico Clara as my second beer, not on ice, and just enjoy this one.
Yeah, I wasn't going to have
meant to be enjoyed.
Ferris, Rob was like, yeah, I guess your other beer. I'm like, no. I had a Guinness on the first pod, so that's my beer on ice. I got 2 so that the other one is to have after that's over. I don't know.
I got a 12 pack of this, probably about 7 or 8 left, so I'll be okay. I almost always have this in my fridge. But all right, the La Liga's roundup. And the champions league is back. Woo! Already in like mid-season form with that.
It caught me by surprise today, to be honest. I got an alert when, oh my God, right, Champions League games are on.
Yeah,
today.
right.
It totally caught me off guard.
And it's going to go until Thursday. They have games all the way until Thursday. It's kind of odd. But, wow, kind of a smorgasbord of games here. You had Arsenal in kind of the early game. They won 2-0 over Athletic Club, as Blake said earlier. Martinelli and Trossard goal.
Like
PSVI,
Martinelli, 34 seconds after being subbed in too. It was super sub. They both were
instant
subs. Yeah,
instant. This one kind of surprised me. PSV Eindhoven 3-1 to Union Saint Gilloise.
Yeah,
Blake, do you know what league and what country Union Saint Gilloise is from? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I have no idea. Who is
they? Would be in Belgium, the Belgium First Division. They're in the same league as Club Brugge, as Westerlo, Royal Antwerp, Genk. So it's a pretty good league.
That's a
pretty darn good league.
That's a big upset, though.
Yeah, it is with PSV Eindhoven, and just looking at PSV Eindhoven's team, they look like they started pretty much everybody. An interesting team because you know who plays on PSV Eindhoven?
Who's that?
2 Americans. So Jorginho Desk at right back, and Ricardo Pepi as striker for them. Both of which have had very good seasons for PSV and are pretty much automatic starters for them. But yeah, they got walloped on that one. That was a bit surprising. And this was another surprising one. Benfica, 2-0 up after 16 minutes. Went 3-2 in the end to Karabag FK. Blake, do you know where Karabag FK are from? It's like the FA Cup of the Champions League.
Latveria, home of Doctor Doom, villain to the Fantastic Four.
I'm going to give you points for that one. They are from Azerbaijan.
Okay.
in the Azerbaijan Premier League. And do you know where they're at in the Azerbaijan Premier League currently?
9th.
Mid-table, they're in 7th.
Oh, jeez.
And they're whooping up on Benfica, who was just in the Club World Cup in the whole 9. Like, I'll be damn, wild. I'll get to this next game here at last. Tottenham beat Villarreal 1-0. A lone junior own goal actually was what put Villarreal down. And then you had Real Madrid behind 2 penalties converted by Kylian Mbappe to get out of Marseille with a 2-1 win. But do you know who scored for Marseille?
Who was that?
Timothy Weah, a U.S. men's national team player. So a lot of U.S. men playing in the Champions League, which is awesome to see. And then the last game, which was awesome and did feature another U.S. Men's player, but Juventus 4, Borussia Dortmund 4.
Jeez.
This game was nutso. I had my buddy Chris at the deli.
7 different players.
Yes. Yeah, seven different players. This game was wild. Okay, first half, you could just fast forward right through that. But if you go on and you watch the extended highlights, there's like 1 or 2 highlights from the first half, and then it goes straight to the second half. Adam Mendy in the 52nd. 11 minutes later, Yildiraz for Juventus makes it 1-1. 2 minutes later, Felix Nemecha makes it 2-1 Dortmund. 2 minutes later after that, Vlahovic, who just came on and subbed for them, makes it 2-2. 7 minutes later, Jan Kuto makes it 3-2 to Dortmund. Then 12 minutes later, a penalty is awarded. Excuse me. Rami Behenasabi, an Algerian that plays for Dortmund. Cool penalty. You haven't seen that. Very, very cool pen. Makes it 4-2. In the 94th minute plus, Vlahovic, Dusan, the big Serbian, makes it 4-3. And then at the dying death with pretty much the last kick of the game, a ball is played in to the Englishman in Lloyd Kelly, a center back all the way up that far by trade, heads it home to make it 4-4.
That's classic.
Yes, and that is going to be a great segue because I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to skip around here a little bit. That was at the Allianz Arena where Juventus play. On the weekend, Juventus were not involved in an 8-goal match, but they were involved in a 7-goal match.
Jeez.
This one was wild. I turned into this and I got an alert saying they were like 1-0 up at the time over Inter. Listen to this. Juventus in the 14th, Kelly, goal-scoring machine for them at center back. I think he's playing more of like a wing back right now, but he's doing quite well. Scores in the 14th minute of play. I always mess this name up. Hakan Kakalajulu scores in the 30th.
Exactly. Yes.
8 minutes later, Yildiz makes it 2-1. Into halftime they go. Kakalajulu makes it 2-2 in the 65th minute with one of the prettiest goals that you will see. Go to YouTube, watch the highlights. It is awesome. Round 3 in the Serie A. It is a superb goal. Then listen to this. Inter go ahead 3-2 by Marcus Thuram. Then check this out. 7 minutes later, the other Thuram, the brother, Kefren Thuram, makes it 3-3. And then in the 91st minute plus 1, the youngster, the 19-year-old Vasily Aitzek, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Montenegro scores in the 91st plus 1, and Juventus wins this big Serie A round 3 match over Inter 4-3. So within the matter of 3 days, Juventus have been involved in a 7-goal thriller and an 8-goal.
Oh, that Kalahanu, however you say his name, I just saw the goal. Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
wild?
Awesome. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, go to Foot Mob. Just you'll find the highlight
Yep.
footage. Oh man.
Yep.
Jeez.
But the Allianz Stadium has seen some awesome games in the past just two games in the past 3 days. That is so that is 15 goals that they've watched score there, and they've seen Juve win one and draw one. How cool is that? So the table in Serie A after match week 3, Napoli tops the table with 3 wins out of 3. Juventus 3 wins out of 3 is in second, but just one less in the goal difference. Cremonese ranks 3rd right now in Serie A. They have 2 wins and 1 draw. And Udinese, 2 wins and 1 draw as well. AC Milan's in 5th, and Rome is currently in 6th. Obviously very early on, but that's how kind of Serie A is starting to shape up. And we won't go over the table that is. I mean, if you remember, the Champions League is in a table format. Obviously, right. Most teams haven't even played yet. As we switch back to that real quick, you have games tomorrow that consist of Olympiacos and Paphos, Slavia Prague and Bodo Glimt, Ajax and Inter, Bayern Munich and Chelsea. Fun match at 3 o'clock. Another fun one at 3 o'clock, Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. And then you have Paris Saint-Germain and Atalanta. All those 3 o'clock games there are going to be real fun. Again, you have Ajax, Inter, Bayern, Chelsea, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, and Atalanta all at 3 o'clock. Fun match day tomorrow. And then Thursday you have games, as I alluded to earlier. You have Club Brugge and Monaco. You have Copenhagen against Bayern Leverkusen. You have Eintracht Frankfurt against Galatasaray. Man City against Napoli. Guess who Man City is going to play against?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yep.
For Napoli. Fun matchup. Then you have Newcastle United hosting Barcelona. How freaking cool is that? And then you have Sporting CP against Kiryat Almaty. I'm saying that right. So you have 3 full days of the round 1, if you will, of the Champions League matches. And again, it is a 36 team table. And I at this point I don't quite know who.
That Bayern Chelsea match should be fun. That should be a lot of goals. I imagine it to be a lot of goals.
Absolutely. So should the Liverpool and Atletico Madrid match.
Yeah,
that should be fun. Ajax Inter should be fun too. And then you go on to that Thursday and Man City Napoli, Newcastle Barca. Fun games, man. Really fun games to watch there. So I'm gonna try to get them on at work and watch them. So that's kind of your Europe roundup. Pumping over to the States, we'll kind of stick with the Bundesliga type flair as Thomas Mueller on his birthday hits a hat trick for Vancouver, and Vancouver smashes 7 past Philadelphia. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. Damn tootin', that's a lot. 7-0 against Philadelphia Union. Guess where the Philadelphia Union are, Blake?
Where are those guys right now?
They're currently the Shield winning team. They may not win the Shield, but they are currently top of the proverbial both of the tables. And Vancouver just smashed 7 past them with a Thomas Mueller hat trick in his 5th game or something like that. And if you didn't know, we were supposed to see Thomas Mueller a few weekends ago, and I couldn't make it because it was the opening weekend of HHN. But because City went further in the Leagues Cup, that match got postponed, and we now get to see Thomas Mueller in Vancouver here in October.
Oh, sweet!
I'll get to see him. Your table in the MLS, I think. Make sure. I want to say Inter Miami played tonight in kind of a rescheduled match, and they beat Seattle Sounders, which is a pretty big win for them. They beat them 3-1. But your top 9 in the MLS currently shapes up as the Union first, 2 points over FC Cincinnati, and they are 2 points over Charlotte FC. Charlotte FC, heck of a win on the weekend as they blanked Inter Miami 3-0.
Big sellout match for them, too. Big sellout match for them.
Pretty awesome. Nashville 4th, Inter Miami 5th, Columbus Crew 6th, Orlando City 7th, New York City FC, and Chicago Fire round out your top 9 there. Going over to the West, it's still San Diego, who top the table 2 points ahead of Minnesota United, who are also 2 points ahead of the Vancouver Whitecaps. Seattle Sounders are in 4th on 45 points. LAFC in 5th on 44 points. 2 points behind them, Portland Timbers, who had a big win on Saturday night. I watched some of this as I was going to bed. 2-1 over New York Red Bulls. Austin FC are in 7th, kind of quietly just staying in there. Colorado Rapids, my Rapids, in 8th. And then your San Jose Earthquakes sticking up there, not kind of where you thought they'd be at the start of the season. Now, they've lost 3 of the last 4, but they are still there in that top 9 spot, 1 point ahead of Real Salt Lake and FC Dallas, who are both on 34 points. And that's kind of your MLS roundup, if you will.
I didn't realize Charlotte was on a 9-game tear right now.
Yeah, they've been tearing up. That's a good shout from you. They've been killing it, and there hasn't really been a team in the league that has been doing quite as well as them.
Damn,
they have climbed up the table rapidly, and they're only 4 points off of the top spot there.
Well, that's my home state. I would love to see the game grow there. So,
Hey, listen, I'd love to see them do well if it means Inter Miami doesn't do well.
Hey, man, have Messi miss a penalty and lose 3-0.
Oh, yeah, he tried a Panenka in that and got caught.
Yeah.
He got caught. I mean, in fairness, if it always, no matter who, if it's him or anybody, takes a Panenka and the goalie just kind of stays there, you just look kind of dumb. It just kind of,
even though statistically speaking, going down the middle would net you most likely.
Yeah,
because people don't want to not like they're trying, so they jump left or right. And then vice versa. Yep. That's what happens to the same penalty. I saw this study on this, and it was wild. But psychologically, people won't do it. But technically, it would be the smart thing to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
But trying it and failing just makes you look kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
And then lastly, we'll go to the NWSL. And Blake, before we get to that, do you know what I got this week at the game?
What you got?
The 1-1 draw with Bay FC. But the Orlando Pride got their rings.
Oh,
championship rings. And if you have not seen those yet, go online and look. It's much cooler, but I got a replica ring of theirs.
That is so cool.
It is sweet, man.
Look at that thing.
Sweet. But if you go online, it has this is
look at this thing, man.
Much cheaper fake version, but it has the shield on one side of the ring, the NWSL trophy on the other, the 2004 year,
the star,
the champions along the side. It has the star at the top of the Pride logo in the center.
Oh, I like the little ring too. That there's another.
A really cool thing is on the real ones, there's a smaller detachable ring, and on that detachable ring, I believe it says the score, if I'm not mistaken. It says Orlando Pride 1, Spirit 0. Or it may have the date of the game. It has something on the inside of the ring. I have to go and look. But yeah, you could buy them at the game. I kind of pre-ordered it. It comes in this cool little stand that just says 2004 champs.
That's cool.
So I don't know how I'm going to display it, but I wore it on Saturday there, and they brought out the shield and the trophy again. For kind of fun and the opportunity that if you bought a ring that you can take a photo, and this one I will definitely post on our social.
Awesome.
But check out this cool photo that I'm going to share with you right now, Blake, in our text group that a friend of the pod caught. That is pretty darn cool.
That is so cool. I love they did a replica. Dude, that is such a good picture.
Right? It's so cool.
Slamming the beer.
And they brought out...
It's a martyr kit, right? Isn't that what you got?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I did as well.
And they brought out the shield and the NWSL trophy again. So we got there, right? I have to guess where I got to stand still, hold my hat to my heart, and listen to the national anthem. in between those two trophies.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I was like, everybody's looking at the flag right now. I could just take one of these home. But no. Very, very cool. Pride aren't having the best of season. We'll get to that here in a second. But man, to keep having this season where they're doing a commemorative like coffee table book that you could pre-order that I'm probably going to order.
Dude, that picture though between the two trophies and the shield, that is rad. That is so great. Dude.
So cool. Just awesome. So like, yeah, for 40, I think the ring was only like $49. It's a rare replica, but it looks pretty darn good, and it's like a heavy ring. I get it. Yeah, that's fake. It's
when
not,
you're an old man retired
cool.
at a bar somewhere, you better be wearing that while you're.
Heck yeah. Just $49 of not being real, but I don't give a shit. It has, Pride logo on it. Has the star. Heck yeah, I'm drinking my Pacifico out of a Pride Star koozie here. So obviously the wall behind me, my kind of pod wall, if you will, scarves and sign balls and championship trophy and the whole nine behind me here. But anyways, the Pride aren't having the best of seasons right now in the league. Obviously they won tonight in the Champions Cup, but they still are in the playoff picture. But they got to start to win some games here. They've lost 3 and drawn 2 in their past 5 games, and they have a game this Friday against, I believe, North Carolina Courage, who are right there and only 4 points off them. But anyways, the table in the NWSL real quick. Kansas City are just kind of piling through teams. They are top of the table on 50 points. That's 14 points higher than anybody else in the table, but they drew 0-0 with Washington Spirit on the weekend. Kansas City have clinched their spot in the playoffs. They become the second team behind the Pride last year to clinch a playoff spot as early as they did. Gotham are in third behind Esther Gonzalez, who is a goal-scoring machine for them and Golden Boot front runner right now. Portland Thorns, kind of, I would say quietly, but they're up there in fourth. But between Gotham in third, Portland in fourth, San Diego in fifth, and Seattle in sixth, who won tonight. We'll get to that here in just a second, why they played tonight. But they're all on 30 points with just gold difference in between them that separates them. So that third through sixth all tied on points, and then you go below that, the Pride are 1 point below them on 29 points and 7.
Yeah, but man, Pride's had a draw, 3 losses and a draw, man. It was just a bad run. Ugh.
And Racing Louisville is currently in 8th on 26 points. So they have a little bit of a cushion, but they've dropped slowly down the table. They were up there in second and third, and they've dropped slowly down. So we got to start to win some games here. And like I said, I believe we have North Carolina coming up. We're not an easy team, and that thankfully it's home.
That's whose shirt I'm wearing right now. It's the Courage shirt. That. I feel like you guys snagged for me, or is it Tony and Caitlin snagged for me?
Well, maybe when they went.
You guys went on a trip. Yeah. I feel like yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Met my parents, I believe, went to the match. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Kind of to end and on a sad note, but not an overly sad note. During the Sunday night match between Seattle and Racing Louisville, the match was halted as Savannah DeMello went down untouched and kind of collapsed. Staff was out there quickly. Ambulance was out there. They paused the match, went to halftime early. Thankfully, she was a kind of alert when she went down. She just looked very tired and kind of out there, but she didn't completely just collapse. It's kind of a known medical issue with her. I think it's Graves' disease, if I'm not mistaken. So she was immediately went to a hospital. I tuned into the match after I'd gotten a text from Caitlin saying, "Oh, geez, something happened to Savannah Mello. It's not good." You could just tell in everybody's face. But they kind of quickly went to halftime, came out of half, and they had made the decision to postpone, which is the right call in that type of scenario. The NWSL put out a statement within a few hours that basically said tonight's match between Seattle Reign and Racing Louisville has been abandoned following a medical emergency involving Racing Louisville midfielder Savannah DeMello. Savannah received immediate on-field care from medical personnel and was transported to a local hospital for further evaluation. She is stable and alert. Our first priority is her health and safety, and we are in close communication with the Reign and Racing Louisville medical teams. We recognize the concern this incident may cause, particularly in light of recent conversations around player safety. The NWSL remains committed to ensuring that the highest standards of medical care and emergency response are in place at every match. The remainder of the match will be rescheduled for a later date, and further updates will be provided. I'm so glad to hear at that time that she was stable and alert, and obviously in good care of a hospital in that area. So then you fast forward to today, where it was announced that a new date and time for the remainder of the Seattle Reign and FC Louisville game was to be played, which is essentially the second half of the game. And that was tonight, again, which Seattle won 1-0. It was abandoned at half. The game will kick off is scheduled for 5 p.m. Pacific time, so 8 p.m. Eastern time, so it just ended here not too long ago. It will be played in a closed-door setting, so it was played behind closed doors and will remain available to watch on Paramount Plus and NWSL Plus. Again, just ended. DeMello is stable condition, and the league remains in contact with the staff of Louisville as well. Savannah DeMello came out with a statement about the same time. She said, "I'm lucky to have my family with me while I'm waiting for test results to come back. I'm extremely thankful for our whole medical staff for the quick response. They've been with me every step of the way. The support from everyone has truly meant the world to me, and I'm excited to cheer on the girls this week." So all in all, what could have been really bad, alert, stable, I think good decisions there made by the league. And I'm just happy that we didn't get a worse outcome, a bigger scare, or anything along that. And we certainly wish Savannah a quick recovery and she can get back on the field.
Amen to that.
And that has been your La Liga's Roundup.
Boom. All right, that brings us to the end of this pod. Our beer mentions of the pod. I had the 851 Hellas Lager from South County Brewing.
From Sweetwater Brewing Company in Atlanta, Georgia, I had the 420 Extra Chill Cold Pale Ale, and I demolished that. I'm on to a Pacifico.
Yeah, this Lager is great.
Man, that looked good, man.
Man, I can't. Yeah, this is there's good breweries over here. I have so many I have yet to get to. Ferris, do you have a Zlatan quote?
I do not. And here I kind of want to just reference the past few weeks. I've pulled quotes from random happenings throughout the week of the world of soccer, the world of football, because there's only so many Zlatan quotes out there.
That's true. I like
the Zlatan. So it might be like the Zlatan inspired quote.
The honorary of the pod. Zlatan quote of the pod.
Yes, and this one's even weirder because it's not from football. It's from football, American football. And if you haven't heard, Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins, he was quoted this week after their just second week loss. They looked terrible, lost to the New England Patriots. But he came out in the post game, and he's a quirky dude. He's like the hipster version of like a head coach in the NFL. But he was quoted as saying, "To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly." Thank you, Mike.
That's perfect. Please follow us on the socials, rate and review the podcast, follow us on the Untapped. That's always a fun place to do. I, my friend, do not have a dad joke. I also have a quote. We're going to have a double quote episode.
Okay.
This is in honor of Ron, who was supposed to be here tonight, but could not be because of family obligations with the children's took over. So this is for you, Ron. This is from the great Ray Romano. Having children is like living in a frat house. Nobody sleeps, everything's broken, and there's a lot of throwing up. See you next time, Ron. Love to be here. Cherish the game. The Brutal game.